Played left tackle predominantly at your last school. Is that correct?
Yes.
So
Yes,
what was
sir.
the transition like going inside?
It's different. Like I'd even say like every position on the O line's got their unique like aspects to it. Tackle, typically you're more on an island against more athletic, twitchy dudes, where on the inside you got kind of stronger, lower to the ground, heavier guys that are going to be different looks in pass pro and run blocking slightly different. But overall, it wasn't that bad of a transition.
When you went through the recruiting process, did Coach McGuire kind of tell you, hey, we're going to be moving you inside, or were you under the impression that you were still going to stay out on tackle?
It was a topic we talked about, but I was pretty confident in being able to play any position that was needed. And I think just to make me a better player, being able to play more positions is just better for me, and you kind of learn more.
How much did you practice at tackle before they fully switched you over to the guard?
Spring ball, it was kind of a mix. Like I was kind of right tackle, right guard, left tackle. I was kind of all over the place. And I think they were just trying to find where I would fit in best with the offense and the unit as a whole. So I think when we started fall camp is when I really spent most of my time at left guard. And spring ball was kind of a way for them to see everything that I had going. So a little bit of it all.
What do you call from last year's meeting against Kent State?
Well, last year, I think they had a completely different program in terms of a lot of the players that they had. They were still a good team. Like, MAC is interesting, where every team kind of has the opportunity to beat somebody. The amount of upsets we've seen in my 4 years at Miami was kind of crazy. They run pretty similar defense, and I've known they've always gone that tempo offense. So I think it's going to be pretty similar in terms of what I've seen against them, but you never know, really. That's this earlier in the year. You're kind of expecting the unexpected that could come out in so many different things, so you just got to be ready.
And I know you didn't play the whole game, but being able to run the ball with 3 different running backs like that, how much confidence does that give you up front?
Oh, yeah. I mean, as an offensive lineman, you love when we run the ball. That's kind of a big thing. I know even at my old school, we'd always be like, why aren't we running the ball more? And so it's just fun to be able to run the ball, and we got a very talented offense as a whole, and it's a lot of fun to play with this team. You got talent at every position.
I feel like O-line is one of the toughest position groups to get acclimated to in a new system, whether it's like your splits or just that trust. From when you first got here to on Saturday, how do you think that trust has built up, and how did it translate?
Oh, yeah. No, it's definitely a challenge. Coming from my old school, we did a lot of things different, and you kind of got to learn the scheme and understand what everybody's doing. But overall, it's been a really strong transition. Like, we started spring ball, and I wouldn't say we were as tight of a unit as we are now in terms of simple things like knowing everybody's job. I think that's a big thing, that even just playing all the positions I did in spring ball, now I have a better understanding what the left tackle's doing on certain calls, and I know what the center's doing, and I know kind of where everybody's at. And I'd say that's pretty common for everybody in the entire unit, where we're just more confident with playing with each other.
Just looked it up, and it looks like your hometown is 2 hours from Kent.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any friends who go to school there or anything like that?
Well,
any connection
yeah.
to them from your childhood or anything?
Well, funny enough, my wife is actually in a master's program online at Kent State, so that is kind of a connection that I have recently. And I just know a bunch of people that lived in that area of Ohio, and I've personally only ever been up there one time before we started playing them. But yeah, Ohio's a lot. It's not an 8-hour drive to another city like it is here in Texas, so that's kind of a big change. Where the amount of people on the team, I ask where they're from, and they give me a part of Texas, and I was like, I have no idea where that is. And they're like, oh, it's like 8 hours away. It's like, what? So that's a big change. But overall, yeah, I mean, my wife being there is probably a pretty decent connection.
So, let's see. You said you had not been there until y'all started playing them, so they didn't recruit you then?
No, they did recruit me, but like I was kind of when that COVID stuff started happening, so I had a good amount of MAC offers, and I've kind of traveled around the Ohio area and a couple other schools, but just COVID happened, so I didn't really get a chance to fully visit a lot of teams, but yeah.
When y'all go down and score first possession and Reggie scores the touchdown, is that like old times?
Yeah, that was fun. We would always kind of at Miami we'd always start out with just a deep ball to Reggie, and it worked way more than it probably should have, and it was awesome. So yeah, that was really fun to get Reggie his first touchdown as a Red Raider.
What's your wife studying?
So she's studying she's studying epidemiology, which is like the study of infectious diseases and stuff. So she's definitely got more of the brains than I do, but it works well together.
She is here with you now?
Yes. So she went to a D3 school in Ohio, and then ended up transferring to get her bachelor's at Miami while I was still there. And then after she graduated Miami, she moved down here with me.
And you all have been married how long?
Not too long, like about 3 months. I got engaged over December of last year.
Well, going back to the position change, just how much time had you spent at guard at Miami, Ohio? I think it was like 2,200 snaps at left tackle, but there's a little bit of cross-training in practice. How many times did you take in reps at guard?
Not that much. Kind of when I got to Miami, they just saw me at that left tackle position. So I'd probably say a couple hundred practice reps at left guard. Just if we had a bunch of injuries and stuff like that at Miami, then they'd put me at guard just to kind of fill the spots for the time being. But majority of my time was spent at left tackle.
How do you like being closer to this center? Obviously, Sheridan's been kind of a leader on this team for a while, pretty vocal guy.
Mm-hmm.
How do you like being a little bit closer to that?
Well, I like everybody in the O-line unit. It's definitely different in terms of how you have to run block and pass pro. Like I'd say somebody described it as like tackle, you're just kind of on an island a lot of times where it's just you and the D end and you have a ton of space. But at guard, oftentimes if you're in the slide, it's kind of like blocking in a phone booth. And so it's nice to have Sherry right next to me and stuff like that versus where you're at tackle. It's a little different.
Thank you, Will.
All right. Thank you, guys.
And we'll bring up Mayor Boyd.